All right, everyone, go ahead
All right,
and
who wants to be
introduce
Annie?
yourself.
Hi, I'm Linda.
Hi, I'm Emmy.
I'm Erin. Hello, Raquel.
Hello, I'm Leslie.
And I'm Deb.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I'll go ahead and make this quick for you. First of all, I do want to, again, thank you. Really appreciate it. It means a lot. I also want to share with you something that I find very interesting, something that not a lot of people maybe think about. I find that a lot of times in life, a lot of us kind of skim over things just because it's something that is kind of common. You know, we overlook it. It's something that we don't think about all the time, and so we kind of take it for granted. It's not that we find it like, you know, that we're ungrateful. It's not like we don't appreciate it. It's just that we have it all the time. But I find that if somebody knows the history about this thing, if somebody kind of understands how it affects society, that we kind of appreciate it more. And so that's kind of what I want to talk to you about today. Something that is so common for us now that we use every day, that we look over it. Every one of us. I use it daily. I don't know about you guys, but it's something that has changed the world. This thing was so scarce at one time, though, that only the richest of the rich could afford it. In fact, during Roman time, ancient Roman time, people would risk their lives to go up into mountains to try and come down and sell it to whoever could afford it. There was even an industry built entirely around this one thing. And this thing that I want to talk to you about, get ready for it, is ice. I know, right? It's amazing. We don't think about it, but at one time, ice used to be very scarce, especially if you were in the desert. And it cost a lot of money to have, which is why, you know, you find a lot of times, and when you go up researching through people that lived in the desert, they preserved their food by either using salt or drying it out in the sun. Now again, you could also be living in a different climate, which then you could probably get your own ice. And during the winter, what you would do is you would get all the ice you can, pack it into what they call an ice house. And they put straw, they'd put sawdust in there, and they pack it as tight as they can. And it would actually last, the ice would last through the summer. And so, you know, that was what they did, and that's how they kept their food and kept the ice. But, you know, with life, things change. Technology gets better. People wanted to live in the city more. And so, you know, the ice house thing wasn't really going to work out. The ice house thing wasn't going to be convenient enough. It wasn't something that was sustainable. So they had to come up with something different. And that's where a gentleman by the name of Frederick Tudor comes in. According to, this is the real name, Fish Wrap newspaper, in 1806, he decided to industrialize ice. And so what he did is he got a bunch of people, took them out to his father's property. There was a pond there, it froze. They had special saws, and they would cut it. They even had a horse that would pull a certain saw that would score the top of the pond. And so by the end, they would have these cubes, and then they would store it in this giant form of ice house, basically an ice warehouse. And they wouldn't, you know, they would sell it when it was time to sell it. But once everybody started realizing that he was doing all this, they wanted in on it too. Because by, let's say, 30 years after they started in 1806, 30 years later in 1836, Frederick Tudor was putting out 12,000 tons of ice a year. He was shipping it even as far as Australia. I know, that's pretty incredible. And so everybody saw this, saw he was getting rich, and they wanted in on it. So there was, by the 1850s, so many big people were in on this industry that there was 146,000 tons of ice a year produced by the industry. I mean, I even read in the Hudson Valley Viewfinder magazine, there was at one point during the height of the ice trade that they had 20,000 workers there and 153 different ice warehouses along the Hudson River. And so it was a lot of ice, which means that with a lot of ice available, it becomes cheaper. And now the average Joe could afford it. And they would take these blocks and they put it in what they call an ice box. It would be a wooden box, and they put it in, it would sit on the top, and they put whatever food or whatever they needed to have, and it would keep their meat, it would keep their other foods good, but most importantly, it would keep their beverages cold, which is what I use it for all the time. I don't know about you guys. And this is Mountain Dew, I promise. So it would keep it cold. And with this new demand, people could not produce enough ice. You can only cut so much ice out of the earth, out of the lakes and stuff. And so what they had to do is they had to come up with some artificial way of making ice. And in I think it was 1851, there was a first patent according to the Library of Congress on their website. In 1851, there was a gentleman that was able to patent the first artificial ice maker. And it was from there that things started to change. The industry was still going on, but over time, we have what is now we call refrigerators, the electric refrigerator. But it changed everything. And so not only were we able to now get the refrigerator, keep our own food, nice and cold and preserve it, but we can make our own ice. Of course, we put the ice industry out of industry, but it changed the entire way that we think about preserving food. When you go to a grocery store, you buy food from a refrigerator. When they ship it, they use refrigeration. And it's all because of a simple thing that we thought was insignificant a little while ago, called ice. Thank you. That was like right on the nose.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Good
job.
Thank you.
We have to introduce ourselves again. Right?
One more time.
Yeah.
We have the outro.
It's a peace out type thing.
Bye. Do I need to say my name?
Bye.
Well, no, I hope not.
Okay.
If I get a mark off, I'll call you.
Bye-bye.
You guys are awesome. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I learned something new
We'll have to
today.
think about
And hopefully it was interesting.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
You too. Good luck.
Thanks.
You want me to shut this?
Yes.
Okay.